right, folks, here we are in St. Louis at Impala 2002, or i2k2. We've got over 254 cars here this weekend, and they're going to be having some fun. Let me tell you what, guys. We've got a car show, we've got an audio competition, we've got street racing, we've got drag racing, you name it, we've got it. People are cleaning their cars. They've been waxing all afternoon. Some people have been here since last night cleaning their cars. They've been doing the wheels. They've been cleaning the engines. They've been polishing the hoods, getting the bugs off. It's going to be killer. We're going to wander around the parking lot and see what folks are doing here today. So follow with me as we go see what's up. I told you a minute ago that we had people out here washing, waxing, and polishing the wheels and the whole bit, and we've got Jay Johnson right here. Now we're doing the back side of the wheels. A minute ago we were cleaning the front, and let me tell you, this is going to be one clean car for the car show. So Jay, tell us what you're doing tomorrow. What you going to participate in?
Car show first, then the road course, and then Sunday drag racing.
All right, Jay, well, good luck to you, and we hope to see you out there.
Thank you, Franco. You too.
I told you I'm going to walk around the parking lot a little bit, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do. We're going to go gonzo style. That's where I'm going to walk behind the camera, keep the microphone in my hand, and we'll just talk to some people as we go around, because there's some really cool stuff you can see out here at an event like this. This is an embroidered trunk mat with the Impala SS logo. Now, if that isn't cool, I just don't know what is. We've come around to the front side of that same car where the trunk cover was, and this gentleman has got his car all fixed up. I tell you what, we'll look and see if we can find the guy hiding out here, so maybe he'll tell us a little bit about what he's got.
John Doswell from Decatur, Illinois. 1996 Impala. I've got a lot of NBA products on there. You can see the pulley covers, all the Cool Flex hoses. We've kind of decorated the home plate, keep it on there instead of the Corvette dressing. SLP intake, SLP headers, and a lot of spit and polish. A lot of work.
A popular accessory that we saw a lot of early on in the late 90s, we don't see as much of now, is the cowl induction hood. By now, many of these are truly functional. This is Chris Northcutt from Northwest Indiana, who's got his car up off the ground. Look inside the wheel well, you can see that it is painted and cleaned and ready to go. Chris, I think you've gone a little too far there, buddy. I don't know if this guy has a driver's license yet, but he's getting across the parking lot. I'm gonna have to back up so he doesn't run over me. Here he goes. You got knee pads there, son? You know, one of the fun things about the Impala Club is a lot of these guys have custom license plates, and this one is one of the more obvious plates. And every now and then you find somebody who is just a fanatic, and this is Ray Campbell, and he is just such a fanatic about his car. Ray, tell me a little bit about this pantyhose you've got on your air cleaner.
Well, that's an outerwears pre-filter, and what it does is help protect the filter from getting dirty and grimy while you drive it around every day like I do. So when you get ready to race, though, you take it off and you're ready to go.
And tell us what you've done to the engine.
Nothing internal to the engine. I've done just mainly bolt-on dress-up modifications. I have the 1.6 roller rockers and valve springs ready to go in. Haven't done them yet. I also have a nitrous kit that's ready to go in, just procrastinating. As far as the drivetrain, I've done the Vigilante 2400 stall torque converter and the Motive 373 gears.
Have you done anything with suspension?
The only suspension modifications I've done is put in Bilstein shocks and lower control arms from Hotchkiss.
One of the most active clubs in the country has got to be the Herd from the Chicagoland area. This car is obviously an active member of the Herd. How about this purple paint job? One of the last things we're doing this afternoon is watching the car show judges as they go through a little class that Mr. Jim Curtis is giving them on how to be an effective car show judge. Let's listen to Jim and see what he has to say about how to be a car show judge.
Now you can look at some of the cars out here, and people have actually polished this under here.
Oh
That's a plus. So when you come up, when you walk up, you look at what the engine compartment looks like. You're looking at your hood mat here. You know, you're looking to see what, if anything, is dropped down. The lights, the rubber up there. Just basically looking down. You just start at the top and go all the way down. You're looking for the covers on everything, that's clean. You look back up under there and you can see the pad that's back on the firewall. You come down the sides of the engine. You come down and you look at the sway bar, the frame rails, everything down in here. This is a stock configuration. If anybody put another cooler in, it's going to be in this area here. Back of the headlights. Now you'll notice this is a stock. This one's shiny, this one's dull. You'll see some where one side will be white and one side will be black. That's because of the way they put them together. And the T84s, same way. You get different colors on different sides. That's not a deduct. That's just the way they came from the factory. What Larry was talking about is something like this, where a refrigerant system, this is not a deduct, because that is a service sticker.
So anybody has a carb certification for
carb certifications. Now what he was talking about, if somebody's got a K&N filter and they slapped a big K&N decal on it, that's 1 point. Condition of the wheel, you can check the condition of the rotors. The wheels are dusty. The wheels are always dusty. But inside of the rim, whether or not they've cleaned that, and you can run your finger on the inside of the rail here. Don't get it too far up in there because it's some stuff that'll bite you. But the other thing you can look at is your dust panels front and rear, whether or not they're clean. You'll see some. The bolts. Now if you go look at Mo's car, you'll see perfect dust panels in there, and I don't know how the hell he does it.
Well, hi folks, I've slipped in here next to Carla Russo. This is like your event, isn't it? This is you by yourself?
It's not my event, it's a group of us, it's a group effort.
How long have you hello? How long have you guys been doing this?
This is our second event. We did one in 2000.
How long does it take to put one of these together?
It's about a good year of planning to really make it work right, and you still never work all the bugs out completely.
Yeah, you've done so far. You've done a real good job. I'm impressed. The registration was pretty smooth. And how many volunteers and staff do you have doing this event?
We have wonderful volunteers, and we've got, we must have 40, 50 people helping us, and it's been really nice this year because so many car clubs have stepped up and really decided to participate and help us out too. So it's not just a Grail effort, it's really the whole Impala community.
Good deal. Well, we've been here before and it was a lot of fun, and I tell you that a lot of people out there in the parking lot who are getting their cars polished and ready to go, and this is going to be a lot of fun. And tomorrow we're going to be out the track, right?
Yep, we're going to be at the track tomorrow, and we're going to start a good day of shining and sounding and racing.
All right. Well, Carl, this has been a lot of fun, and we'll see you out at the track.
All right, thanks, Franklin.
Well, like they say in the military, it's dark 30, and out here in the parking lot, it's fun time. The guys who clean their cars, they're ready to go, they're relaxing, they're visiting, and there's some interesting things to see out here. So we're going to look around. I'll get behind the camera again, and we're going to go check on a couple of pretty neat things that we'll see out here in the parking lot. This is the fun time to be out here at one of these Impala events. So let's go out there and see what's going on. So a little while ago, I was walking around the parking lot out here, and this car was actually covered up, and I saw these green lights flashing, and a gentleman came by and said, "Hey, you think the guy knows his lights are going off?" And I said, "I don't know. I've never seen that myself." So it just so happened a few minutes later, I was looking at the car again. The gentleman walks up, and it turns out he does know his lights are going off, and we're going to go find him in just a second and ask him what's up. All right, we found Ed Bowser. So we got the green LED thing we've got going here.
Yeah.
Is this, what is this? Is it part of an alarm system?
Yep, I got a part of an alarm system. I got 4 LEDs, one in all 4 corners. They're just a little Farad scanner. They're about 15 bucks, draw about 12 milliamps. I can run about 4 days with the rest of the alarm system without drawing the battery down too much. And starts right up, but they're high intensity, green, yellow, blue, red.
That's neat. And it is O Dark 30, as I said earlier, and you probably can't tell. This is a beautiful dark gray green metallic car, so I'm sure it appears dark on the camera because we have the gain cranked up really loud and the lights are not that great. But he's got the green LEDs to go with the green car, and it's really a pretty good effect. And this is one of the unusual things we want to show you here in the after hours party here at Impala Palouse 2002. That, ladies and gentlemen, was a smoky burnout. There's a Corvette down at the end just going, "Don't hit me, please." I think we got that on tape. Let's come look right over here, Jim. I wanted to show you guys something real, even though it's late at night and you can't really see this car. This is Impala. This is Harvey Clark's car, and we will see this car tomorrow during the daylight. We're going to interview him. This is one awesome car. Every time we see this car, it's a little better than it was the time before. It's a purple car. You notice there are no door handles on this car. We'll talk to Harvey tomorrow about how in the world Harvey gets inside this car. And this is one beautiful animal. Excuse me, Jose. Is this part of the mosquito eradication program?
I believe so. It is.
Okay, it's probably too dark to see the debris on the. I don't know, Jim. Can you see the spot there? Or the guys are looking at the pavement's coming up actually off the ground.
Look at this. Look at all this rubber, man. The big dog. He doesn't want to think over there after the rain. Look at the poor guy.
This replaced my Impala, but I'm 99% sure I'll have another one next weekend. I'm going to buy an Impala in Jersey, probably.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you'll face the camera here, this is Brad O'Black. We've known him for a while, and he's got it's a little bitty car. It's they call it a Camaro, or it's a small
It's
car.
a silver Impala that shrunk.
It's a silver Impala, but it does have an LS1. It wouldn't have an automatic, would it?
No.
Excellent. It does have a 6-speed. So,
but it's slow. It's all stock except for the roll cage and the other
probably
parts
on
on
11
there.
seconds or something like that. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. This is what the parking lot party is all about, folks.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm sorry you can't see what it's really like, but this is a lot of fun, and tomorrow is going to be even more fun. Good morning, folks. We're out here at the Gateway International Raceway. And we've got folks lined up behind us here. What they're doing is they're all getting a parade lap around the raceway here. Inside the track this morning, we have racing, we have the sound off, and we have the car show competition going. So let's go inside and find out what's going on. We've come inside in the shade with one of my favorite Yankees, Randy Accorsi.
That's damn Yankee.
Damn Yankee Accorsi. Randy actually has a crew shirt on from our production company because the last time we did one of these big productions, Randy worked with us, and we nearly melted you into the pavement.
And how?
As I recall.
I remembered all my lines. I started sounding like Max Headroom. Headroom.
Okay. Well, one of the reasons we're going to talk to Randy today is he is a judge in the car show competition. Randy, give us some heads up on what you're going to be doing when the cars show up for you.
Yes, we're still waiting for our first customer. Basically, let's go with 100 points. And of course, not that you can see it on camera, but there's 2 pages of criteria to fill out. And basically, into front exterior, engine compartment, interior compartments, aft quarter panels, and trunk and exterior. And of course, based on all of that, somebody hopefully will get 100 points. Once in a while, we get double 100-point cars, in which case they have to make final judgments
And we're lucky today. Normally, as judges, we have to sit down and add all the points up separately. Today, they've done us a wonderful thing. They actually have somebody who's going to sit down there and count all the points for us, so we don't have to sit and do that. Of course, there's 5 classes, or 5, I should say, 5 slots this year. Most of it's modified. My particular one is all 94 and 95, 96 B-body. So B-bodies are very interesting because it takes in all the strange and wonderful cars like the station wagons that you don't normally see all that much of, 9C1s, and they're really interesting because they have all different kinds of crazy mods to them. But it's a lot of fun, it really is.
All right, thanks, Randy. Let's go see some of the cars.
Absolutely.
This is Jay Johnson's car. He has added LED flashers to his mirrors. Of course, one of the most popular mods is the sequential taillight signals. Also on Jay Johnson's car. While we're here, just let's go ahead and take a look at Jay's car. You can see what a true show car quality Impala looks like. In Illinois, it's even possible to have a car club license plate.
To paraphrase, you can never be too fast or too clean. I believe this car is both. Let's check it out. We won't be able to show you every car out here and every mod on every car, but we are going to look around and see some things that are different. And I found something here that I'd like to see this thing going down the interstate. If the camera would tilt up. This car belongs to Miguel Reyes, and if we can find the guy, we'll get him to tell us a little bit about it. All right, we found Miguel here, and he's still got all the cleaning materials in his hand, but I've stopped him long enough to get him to tell us a little bit about it. Miguel, this is a beautiful car.
tell us where you're from.
Chicago.
And Chicago. All right, and tell us all about this car.
Well, everything got a frame mount, power quarter, 383 stroker with a Novi supercharged. Running about 43 horsepower at the rear wheels. Got a paint job, interior redone, body, frame out, everything's been redone from the front to the back.
One of the newer events at Impala competitions is the sound-off competition, where people bring their cars with their fabulous stereos and show us all what they've done. This particular car belongs to Steve Cornell, and he's got, among other things, it looks like a television in the trunk. And it turns out he's also one of our car show judges. So we're going to get him to give us a tour of his car and have him point out those things that you look for as a judge to see who's the best of the best in the car show competition. Well, I've pulled Steve Cornell away from the audio judging for just a few minutes so that he can tell us a little bit about this beautiful green-gray metallic car that he has here, his own install. So tell me about this wonderful car you've got right here.
I've got two batteries mounted in the front bumper of the car. The two batteries, they actually can run the system, the entire audio system. The batteries are encased in steel. The front bumper was removed, and steel boxes were fabricated for the front of the car. Batteries all encased in the steel boxes. There's fuses for the batteries directly underneath the bumper. There's an Optima battery which powers the car. It's isolated from the system batteries by a 200 amp solenoid, which is located under this panel. You can monitor system and vehicle battery from the battery monitors right here. We've got a 240 amp PowerMasters alternator that charges all three batteries when the engine's running. Our power wire is 1-aught power wire. It runs from the front batteries. It goes into a conduit which is run inside the frame of the car. It goes all the way inside the frame to the back of the car, and the 1-aught wire is then run inside the conduit. Moving to the interior of the car, there's a Pioneer head unit in the factory location. It was trimmed out with a panel made out of Formica and MDF, dyed and textured to match the other panels in the car. There's a 12-disc changer in the center console. This changer, there's also switches to control lights and other various functions of the system. There's a switch in the center console. This switch controls volume, track. I can change discs and also pause. There was a custom circuit designed that allows it to interface with the Pioneer head unit. There's also a DVD player which is located under the seat, which you can reach from the back side to control, so you can watch movies in the car actually. The rear view mirrors was actually replaced with a 7-inch widescreen monitor. This monitor, while the car is in park, you can view DVD movies. You can plug your computer into an S-video cable or an outboard source. I can play a PowerPoint presentation through the movie camera. Anytime the car is pulled out of park, it automatically switches to a rear view camera located at the trunk. You cannot watch videos going down the road in the car, for safety reasons, of course, unless you finally hit the switch. In the door of the car, in each door there's a 7-inch mid-base located, it's enclosed in an aperiodic enclosure, which is custom designed for the car. The kick panels also contain a 4.5-inch mid-range and a tweeter. For the back seat, all the fuses for everything in the system, except the amplifiers, are located in this panel in the rear. There's an LED indicator that tells me if there's a fuse blown. They can easily be accessed. As you can see, you can just pull the fuse, and right there it is. The rear deck was totally reconstructed out of fiberglass and MDF. The subwoofers vent up through this panel in the rear. Steel to protect the subs. This was all painted to match the car and covered in grill cloth. There's also speakers, rear deck speakers here, which were also trimmed out and painted the same color as the car, and then covered in MDF panels covered in grill cloth. All the carpet in the car was changed from the factory gray to the dark charcoal color you see. Here in the trunk of the car was where the majority of the work took place. The sub enclosure you see contains two 12-inch subwoofers. These subs fire down into a very small enclosure, which are then aperiodically vented into the trunk. The enclosure itself is constructed out of fiberglass, 3/4 MDF, and is actually lined with 3/4 inch concrete. This is a lightweight concrete. The entire enclosure only weighs about 50 pounds, even with the concrete in it. In the left trunk wall is the Pioneer processor. This is it's actually a prototype piece from Japan that you can't buy in the country. This processor controls all the system functions, crossover, EQ, and time alignment. In the right trunk wall are all the fuses for the amplifiers. And also the fuse going to the fuse panel you saw in the rear trunk or in the rear seat armrest. Also a couple of sifting capacitors to stabilize the power supply. There are 3 amplifiers in the system located in the floor of the trunk. One 600 watt amp for the subwoofers. There's a 2x50 watt amp for the mid bass and the doors, and a 4x50 watt amp for that power up the 4 speakers and the kick panels. All the panels in the car were all constructed out of fiberglass, all hand laid glass. A lot of time, about 1,000 hours in this particular install. After the panels were all constructed, they were covered in vinyl and then dyed to match the car. There's also a video monitor in the trunk lid of the car. This was put here for presentation reasons. I'll have a presentation on DVD, a PowerPoint presentation on DVD for spectators so they can see how the car was actually constructed.
We have a car here belonging to Smokey Bear, otherwise known as Tom Frederico.
Yes.
And Tom, where do you live? Tell us about your car.
San Diego, California, and a little bit about the car. It was bought as a daily driver, May of 2000. I ended up driving it every day until a car wash damaged it with some wheel acid, and I took it in for a paint job that they paid for. And a regular shop, and the guy said, well, you know, I think we ought to remove the windows and clean it up, and just a regular production shop. So we ended up repainting it for like $5,000, and then I just did not have the heart to drive it anymore, and that's when the saga began.
All right, so tell us about what you've done under the hood here.
Everything has been pulled out that could be pulled out of a metallic nature and powder-coated black and red. Some of the pieces that cover the radiator and power steering, fuse block cover have all been supplied by Paul at NBA Products. Coolflex has supplied the hoses for the car. I took the hood liner and spray painted a factory blanket. All of the performance parts, the Hotchkiss sway bars, brace, springs, extended kit have all been provided by John Hotchkiss at Hotchkiss Performance. Obtained a Team SS pipe that we repowder coated. There's been no performance enhancements done to the vehicle other than simple intake modifications and the exhaust system that was provided from Dan Ferraro at Clear Image Automotive.
Another thing our friend Smokey Bear here does is produce a replacement carpet for the Impala SSs. Of course, a lot of the cars are, well, actually all these cars are at least 6 years old by now, and many of them have had their fair share of use. A lot of people are buying these cars used and then putting them into shows, and some people just don't like nasty carpet.
That's right.
So, Tom, tell us what you got here.
I've got 4 shades of gray plus black that is available for the carpet kit. This is the 1500 series carpet. I have the factory mold from GM that I've purchased. It comes with the rubber backing, just like the factory carpet did. But this carpet is 200% thicker and 200% taller than the OEM stuff that came in your car, which would be around an 800 series. Again, there's 5 colors, plus I have the Caprice Blue and the Caprice Tan that are going to be manufactured to the exact specifications within the next month. What I've done is I've created the different colors that show more or less tint, more or less glint, depending on what you your daily life and car needs. The OEM gray shows the most dirt, but shows the least lint. And as you go up and down the color spectrum from the black to the OEM gray, the black showing the most lint, but the least dirt. So depending on what colors you want, you can always contact me and we can work it out as to what you need.
And what's the cost of the kit?
The cost is $299 for the floor kit. It is a pre-molded, factory molded with rubber backing, $1,500. It's an exact fit.
Great, thanks much.
Thank you.
Here with me this afternoon is Harvey Clark, the owner of this beautiful purple Impala. Harvey, I know we've talked before, but tell us about this car and what you've done to it, and then we'll take a look.
Well, first, this car was mostly a show car. I built it to be as wild as it could look. And through the times, I've got to autocross it and road racing it and drag racing it a little bit, and now it is retired from showing. I was very happy last year to win Best Overall Impala SS.
Congratulations.
And Dreamapalooza. That's where we had to compete in all the categories, show and autocross and the drag race and the road race. But anyway, I do a lot of road racing with it, and I've got the suspension set up to where it will handle real well on the road course. One of the tricks I've put in it is it has coilover front shocks. And there's not another car out here today that's running a coilover system like that. It's using the billet aluminum QA1 shocks with a Carrera coilover spring. And it seems to work out very well. And the other suspension mods are the Metco rear trailing arms and the third generation Camaro front sway bar.
Thanks very much, Harvey. We've come across the paddock here to another one of the vendor booths. This is Mr. Greg Frick of Inland Empire Driveline. Is that correct?
That's me. I'm guilty.
All right, tell us what you've got here and what this is all about.
Our company sells aluminum replacement factory shafts for Impala SS's, shafts a 1/2 inch longer and 3/4 inch longer to accommodate for the movement of the axle aft to beautify these cars a little bit. The way to determine whether the drive shaft that is already in your car is correct is just take the drive shaft loose from the pinion yoke, push the shaft as far forward into the transmission as it'll go, and you should see no more than 3/8 of an inch clearance between the rear U-joint and the pinion yoke. The extent to which you have more space is the extent to which the shaft is running short. In the fullness of time, it will eat your transmission by allowing the transmission yoke to orbit rather than rotate. So that's why we're here.
Great. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Someone who's always busy at one of these events is Mr. Scott Williams. You know, Scott, I have no idea where do you live.
Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas. Are you ever there?
Yes, occasionally I am there. Most of the time. This isn't a full-time job.
Scott is Mr. Scott Blink Blink Williams. What he's doing here is the world-famous sequential turn signal installation. This is probably one of the most popular modifications. I know my car has it. And how many things do you think you've done in the last several years?
Chris, how many have we done?
Between 600 and 700 Impalas have the Blink Blinks. That's impressive, Scott. Like it says on the windshield, this is one bad bow tie. This car belongs to John Raftiseth of the Atlanta, Georgia area. At one time, this was the fastest Impala Supersport in the world. And in November, John intends to reclaim his crown. And in just a minute, we're going to get John and go around this car and show you why this is one bad bow tie and why it's so fast. All right, we've got the hood up on this bad boy right now, and this is John Raftiseth, owner of this beautiful car. John, tell us about what you've got under the hood here.
409 stroker.
Well, that's the short answer. What's the long answer? You've got something here that's making some kind of serious horsepower, aren't you?
A lot of tuning, a lot of power.
Just a lot of trial and error on new setups.
Now, are we doing naturally aspirated here today?
Naturally aspirated.
And I believe you've got a little nitrous going on there, eh?
Yeah, a little bit of nitrous, but we're saving that for D-Day in November.
Okay. What kind of horsepower do you think you're going to put down to the ground?
Dynoed at 403 rear wheel on motor.
On the motor?
On the motor.
And care to tell us what kind of nitrous shots you got, or you want to keep that a secret till November?
We'll keep that a secret.
All right. Thanks much, John.
All right, thank you.
It's about 9:45 now, and time for the drivers' meeting for those who are going to be running the road course today. Right in here in the meeting room, let's go inside and see what they're going to learn.
Yes. He's talking about loose articles inside the car. You want to take them out, throw them in your trunk. You'd rather have a dent out on the outside or something stuck inside of your head. So just want to protect yourself. Put it in the console anywhere, glove box. That's just one of the rules that the ISCA's got too. It's safety on that part of it. Even the floor mat underneath your driver is the one they're mainly worried about. Even though it's snapped down, they're afraid it'll buckle and you won't be able to brake properly, so you want to take that one out. That would be the most important one. But I would suggest take them all out. Throw them in your trunk, it won't hurt it. So, this is the course. I don't know if all you guys down here can see. You're going to have your starting point right here. They'll kind of line you up. I think you're going to try to bring you down between the garage area here and put you out into the pit area. And this will be your starting point. And you come down and you'll hit the road course. And there'll be cones that'll guide you on it, and you come on around, go through the S's, go on around through here, through your turns, come around 3 and 4 on the oval track, your straightaway, and this is your timing point at the end of it, right underneath the flag tower. There's also cones right there because that's where one of the timing lights are. Please don't take it out. That'll ruin the whole day for everybody. Okay? So you just want to stay in here. You got your apexes out there. They're going to have cones here to kind of keep you. There are tires against the wall here. This S can be fun with the Impalas. If you come in it too hot, don't take the S. Take the field. Okay? It's a lot easier on the car. As it comes around, this is where the wall is. It's real tough on cars. So come back on the track. Try to stay out of the groove for the track, though, for the next person that's running. We don't want to get the track dirty in the groove. You want to stay off the edge. Come on around. Just take your time coming around, clean your tires off, and the next time I'll try to do it again. If you go off the track twice and bring the back end around, you're done for the day. So you got 3 tries, really. But if you the first 2 times out, you spin it, you're done. Red flag, you see a red flag, you stop where you're at. You don't move until somebody comes and tells you you can move. That's a big safety issue. That means there's a problem on the track. They don't want anybody to go. They want you to stay where you're at so they know where you're at until they're done with the situation. He can come and tell you it's time you can move again. And if you're in the middle of the lap, I'm sure they'll give you another lap over again.
The big dogs are howling out here on the racetrack today. The road course has been running all afternoon, but right now we've got Harvey Clark in the big purple Impala back there, who has one of our mini cams strapped in the passenger side. You probably won't be able to see it through the windshield, but trust me, it's in there, and that's Harvey with a helmet on the driver's side, of course. And in a minute, you're going to see Harvey howl around the track as fast as he can go. And let me tell you, Harvey knows how to drive. It's going to be exciting to see what it looks like inside one of these cars as they roar around the road course.
Right now we're standing here with Ed Runyon from California. Those of you who are members of the Impala community and visit the various email digests will know Ed. He is a frequent poster of good information, occasional suspect posts, but mostly good information. Ed, tell us specifically where you're from and tell us about this car. You've allowed us to mount our minicam in the car to do an autocross run here shortly, and that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, I'm from Santa Clara, California. It's near San Jose, the Bay Area. I bought this car. It's my 96 black SS. Bought it brand new in Huntsville, Alabama. And there are a few original parts left here and there on the car, but a lot of things have been modified. The biggest one is it has a T56 6-speed conversion on it, as well as a big brake package from TCE and Willwood. Full suspension from Global West, Herb Adams, Howell, and a couple other companies. And I set it up mostly for autocross and road racing, and also use it as a driver sometimes. Been very happy with the car, and very happy with where I've managed to get it tuned into. So,
tell us about the spoiler on the back deck there.
Okay, that's the Dave Langness spoiler. Dave, some of y'all may remember, is a longtime member of the Impala community from out in California, specifically Torrance, if I remember correctly. And he used to own a really wild-looking SS and decided the factory spoiler was just a little too boring for him. So he set out to design one that not only looked great, but was also functional at high speeds. And I think came up with a great-looking piece on the car.
And you've also got smoothie bumpers on the front and back.
Correct. I do have smoothie bumpers on the car, and it complements the looks of the spoiler quite nicely.
Good deal, Ed. Thanks for talking to us. We're looking forward to seeing you in the car on the camera here in just a few minutes, and we're going to go autocrossing, and that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, it will.
So you've been through once and you're going through again, right?
Go for another one here.
All right, Ed, we'll watch.
Okay.
Blew that run.
Well, another interesting car we found out here at the track this afternoon is this one belonging to John Madeley. John, tell us where you're from and tell us all about this interesting race car.
I'm from St. Charles, Illinois, and this car I bought brand new in '96 and started modifying it by just a simple tint of the windows, and it's been downhill ever since. Suspension has been done everywhere: front sway bar, rear sway bar, shocks, springs, body bushings, bare brakes on the front. It's got a smoothie bumper on the front, which I purchased mainly for air management into the engine and into brake cooling. The engine is the original LT1, but the top end's been redone as a LT4 with comp cam. I've added nitrous this past winter, but have yet to use it. Car has full roll cage in it, mainly, and that's a Bonneville rule. It has windshield tabs front and rear to keep the windows in. It's a fuel cell. Has steel fuel lines in it now. This is all done for safety land speed events.
Speaking of land speed, I understand you have raced anywhere there was a green flag.
Well, that's pretty much true. We've hauled the car all over the country. We've had it down to Maxton, North Carolina, run the 1 mile land speed run at Maxton. Set a class record for the car there at 142, the standing mile. And then we've had it out to Bonneville, run a 1 mile there at 135 to join their 130 club. Then ran a 2 mile event there to join their 150 mile-an-hour club with 2 runs between 150 and 160. We've run the Silver State Classic 3 years, first at 95 average, then at 115, where we got a 2nd place, and then last year at 130 average, where we took a 3rd place. I've also run autocross events at various tracks around the country, run 1 lap of America in the year 2000.
Excellent. Thanks very much for your time. This is a beautiful car.
Thank you very much.
It's quiet out here on the track right now, but in a few minutes the big boys will be out here with high horsepower Impala Super Sports, vying to see who's the fastest Impala Super Sport in the country. So let's get off the track so they can warm this place up, and we'll see what's going on with the big boys and their big cars.
Mike Kender, who is closest to you in the 95. Handicap goes to Jennifer, and here comes Kender. On the top end, a double breakout battle. And ladies and gentlemen, you are not going to believe what happened in that drag race. The 2 vehicles, regardless of the breakout infractions or any of that other stuff, the 2 vehicles in that last race were 1/10,000th of a second apart at the finish line. We won't be beating that one today. As a matter of fact, I'll have to look at the computer printout because I did not notice if, I forget what the actual terminology is called, I didn't notice if it was a less than sign that was next to it. It could have been. I got to check that out. 2/10 over, 1493 win in the most recent match there for Mike Hinkey. Honest to God, I think that could be the first 0001 drag race I've seen at this track this year. I'm not kidding. I do not know if we have had another drag race at any of our events this year that were a 10,000th of a second apart. I'll figure out the distance here in a minute. I don't have to figure out any more. It's the closest one you're going to see. Josh Comer. Well, that's not Josh Comer, I'm sorry. That's good old Bruce Stevens, who just red-lighted by 0.15 of a second closest to you. The automatic win, therefore, falls on the shoulders of Alex Christasek. And Christasek puts together the best package of the drag race, I think. 528 and 4 off with a 6. What does that come out to? I'll have to check that. He may be in the lead for the 20 bucks. This drag race ought to be pretty darn close. Naval Guffey is over in the Budweiser lane alongside, closest to you, Paul George. Another double breakout battle. Both drivers go quicker than their performance predictions by a ton, and the driver who did it least was Naval Guffey over the Budweiser lane. Here's another good close drag race. Very, very close reaction times. Farthest away from you is Jose Rodriguez, not to be confused with the other one. The closest to you is the winner, John O'Connell. Got to the finish line first by a quarter of a second, 0.07 of a second slower than his prediction. A lot of tire spin over there in Gonzalez's lane, I believe. Need our Grand Prix and F-body categories in the staging lanes. Winners from the first round of the Grand Prix and F-body category in the staging lanes, please. Closest to you is Scott Barnes. He's the guy that won the race by 5 inches in the first round of competition. Alongside him this time around, Ray Campbell on the top end. Give it to Campbell in another close race. Only 74 thousandths of a second between them. And Campbell did not have the reaction time advantage. Barnes' car slowed down from his performance prediction. Jay Johnson's 96 Impala is farthest away from you, gets the handicap start, a big one. 1.71 seconds. I'll tell you what, if he is able to stay away from Mark Cropper, it's going to be a miracle. Cropper ran the fastest speed so far. Earlier goes 13:06, takes the win, actually on the brakes a little bit. His opponent only 0.03 of a second over his performance prediction, but Cropper left the starting line 23 thousandths of a second after the green light came on. Farthest away from me here, PJ Gross, and PJ is a winner. A red light start by 0.08 thousandths of a second closest to you. Tough break for John Doswell. Leaves the starting line 0.08 thousandths of a second too soon. It goes 0.04 of a second slower than his performance prediction. Just about an awesome run there. Well, I gotta admit, Impalas are nice, but this Cadillac has been impressive today. This is the guy that had a 5:04 reaction time in the opening round, and the Cadillac closest to you is William Sadler. And Rick Magnard is alongside him in the 95 Impala. There was a hole shot by the Chevrolet in this one on the top end. Let's see what the Cadillac can do. It's going to be a close race. That win goes to the Impala. 500 slower than the performance prediction of 14:29. The Cadillac closer, 500s over, at a 14:93.
In the black car, right?
Yeah. Ken Pagel is farthest from you. His performance prediction 14.45 seconds. He is giving 0.6 of a second to his opponent, who is good old Les Brown.
Who? They announced Les Brown.
That's what the world needs. Les Brown on the top end. After nearly identical reaction times, the win goes to Les. 15:37 on a 15:15. His opponent also ran under. Bruce Corcoran, excuse me, is an automatic winner, whether he knows it or not. His opponent red lighted by 1/10 of a second. Bruce on a 15:35 prediction runs 15.47 seconds. As Rob McMinn goes 0.03 under after the red light. This is going to be a heck of a dogfight here, just to get into the final round. The winner will take on Ron Sellers, the #1 qualifier in the final. Statement Flavin, door to door. This ought to be a good one at the finish line. On the top end, win light goes to Flavin. Came from behind. Great race. 13:55 to 13:64. There was only 51 thousandths of a second between them at the finish line. Now this race is for the bye run into the final. Probably the most important drag race so far. The winner gets a free ride in the semis and goes to the final round.
Hey, I gotta go.
Farthest away from you, it's PJ Gross. Closest to you, Mark Cropper in the only 12-second car in competition. The winner will be in the final.
All right, PJ.
PJ Gross. On 14.76, 8 on 14.76.
Is that your drag racer?
That is my boy.
Great job. I think that's the first driver that's gone dead on his prediction all day. Probably the first one that had to.
Oh, he ran exactly what he dialed?
The solo run. She doesn't have to. Because she wants to see if indeed the car's still running near that 14-second flat prediction. And Tina hits the Christmas tree again. She's probably had the best reaction time average of any competitor.
Yeah, she's the one that runs the reaction time.
582 reaction time on a 14 flat. Oh my.
Look at that. That's incredible.
Wow.
Look at that. I mean, right smack on the numbers.
Or two of the three winners, I should say, that round. Dead on their dialects. Wow.
Standing out here on the roof while the announcer is talking in the background, we're finishing up some of the miscellaneous drag racing. I've got Jose Hernandez, the overall event coordinator for i2k2. here in beautiful St. Louis. It's been a wonderful weekend. The weather has cooperated. I know you've worried about that.
We have.
There were some comments last night about was it going to rain on Sunday, but it did not rain. It's been a beautiful day. There's been some fun action going on. We just watched Miss Consistent down there on the track turn a 1400 on a dialed-in 1400.
That's correct.
So tell us what you think about this weekend. This has been really great.
This has been a fabulous weekend, Franklin. I'd like to say thank you to all of the participants who came from as far as California, Connecticut, Florida. We've had a fabulous time. The sponsors, the track, the organization, our host hotels all taking very good care of us. It's just been a wonderful weekend.
It really has, and you have really got an organization here that's really put their stuff together. I've been impressed by it. Everything's been pretty smooth. You've got a lot of volunteers. Everybody's been pleasant. I personally have had a really good time, and I know our crew's had a good time here too. Thanks, Jose, and hope we'll come back next year. You gonna do this again, you think?
Well, talk to me in a month or so, and we'll see what's going to happen. We got to get the Indians back into the farm, the volunteers who make me look good. I'm just here out in front. The people behind me make this all possible.
After everybody gets some sleep, we'll talk about it, right?
Yes, sir.
Let's go back and watch the finals.
Keep in mind, these are the only two drivers who have run dead on their performance predictions during eliminations today. This one is going to the finish line. Tina Lawson, closest to you. PJ Gross, the Budweiser line, red light, goes to Tina. Unbelievable! A 5:06 reaction time and get on with the 6th. Performance is worth an extra $20 to Tina Lawson. Wow, what a job. Only 8 thousandths between the two of them at the finish line. Here is the big dog final round for the naturally average. Almost identical reaction times. Now it's a horsepower battle. Again, his quickest run of the event, 12.53 seconds. So Sellers will come back around for the overall big dog title, but he's going to have to take on the winner of this drag race that could be one of the quickest and fastest in the day. Paul Roswell from Canterbury, Connecticut, a long way from home, as closest to you. He's alongside the #1 qualifier, McGill Ray.
Behind us, they're doing a technical inspection on Miss Tina Lawson's car because she has won the ET class for the entire i2k2 event here. And I want you to know, folks, that this is the most consistent drag racer I've seen in amateur circles in a long, long time. She ran, while I was watching, 14.00 on a 14.00 dial-in twice, and she won the race this afternoon on 14.02 on a 14.00 dial-in. Also yesterday afternoon, while Tina was running on the road course, she had quite some trouble and spun off the course and lost her brakes completely and was duly embarrassed. But today I believe she has reclaimed her status as someone who knows how to drive. She's talking about how much work and how much effort's gone into this car.
So Tina, tell us about this car and what you've done to it and how long it's taken you to put this car together.
Started about 8 months ago with the new LT4 with a hot cam. Put it in the car, it never would run right. Just one little thing after another, boiled down to electrical troubles. Found it yesterday afternoon, it was in the alarm. And bypassed that little switch, and she's been cooking ever since.
I understand you rolled it off the trailer on Saturday and it wouldn't even start.
Wouldn't even crank, wouldn't turn over, wouldn't do anything. Not at all.
I tell you what, after that performance yesterday, watching you spin out in the grass, and I thought you were going to kill the wall and it was all going to be over.
Yeah.
We're proud of you. That was quite an impressive win you had out there. You looked good, you drove hard, and you won, and I'm sure the tech inspection will come out clean, and we'll see you in the winner's circle shortly.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Tina.
All right.
Stop. Third place goes to James Foster with a 31.316. It's the girl thing, Brett. No.
Thank you. Oh, I see. Thank you. Kiss or trophy, remember the order.
Second place goes to Andy Spiesel with a 31.112. And I know Andy's not here. I think he left already. And then first place goes to Dave Holshaw with a 20.573. Okay, modified. Modified. Third place goes to Keith Arms, 30.739. Keith here? No? Okay. Second place goes
amount of time over perfect on reaction time and the amount of time over your dial-in, 0.012, which would beat anybody on the planet.
Okay, in our normally aspirated class, there'll be 2 trophies. The first place trophy goes to, second place trophy goes to, this is hard reading all these numbers. You don't know this, it's just like all kinds of stuff. Patrick Clayton, car 118. And then first place goes to car 63, Ron Sellers.
Where's the picture? There it is. Behind the camera.
Okay, in the power adder class, second place goes to Paul Roswell. And first place goes to car number 104, Miguel Ray. Did he leave? Okay, we'll send it to him. All right, and then in our big dog runoff between the naturally aspirated and power adder class, I'll be sending that too because that was Miguel Ray. And that big dog trophy was actually brought to you by Kim Goff and Kim Goff. And I forgot to mention too, our drag racing trophies were brought to us by the Herd and Kim Goff. So, sorry about that. Next up is BOI. BOI gets to figure out how to take this bad boy home. That's a trophy. Jose, when you designed it, what does it do?
It fits between the doors of a rear seat on an Impala.
Does it really?
It was measured to do this.
And our BOI winner is also compliments of Missile Workshop. We're going to get a traveling trophy too, correct? You started the traveling or
We have a perpetual trophy.
Come here, tell us. Really? I didn't find you there before I had to do this.
The perpetual trophy for best overall Impala lives on the mantelpiece in the billiard room at the Missile Clubhouse. The winner's name is engraved on it along with the year, and this year's winner's name will also be on it, and it will be brought to next year's national event.
And this will be the individual recipient. So, our best overall Impala is Les Brown. And Bob Kluger came to the idea, he goes, hey, wouldn't it be cool to have a team competition? So we sat around in a lot of meetings, and there was a lot of yelling and screaming going on about how things should be done, and what's the right way to do things. And so we came up with what we thought was an idea. Can it be improved? Of course it can. I think the BOI Missile did a great job improving on it at DREAMA. You know, and we took that. I think somebody else, if they do next year, is going to take it with the team and make it even better. So based on the way we did everything this year, based on the way we did everything this year, there's only one winner. Second sucks, as we put it. Night Hussein, 488 points, is going to take home $770. Team captain, Tom Hatcher.
Got me over the head.
up this morning.
We will get all of these. The other person I would really like to thank, because she has saved my ass today, is Heidi Stark, our web goddess. Heidi I think that's it. Is that it? That's it. Okay, that's it, folks, for this year. Have a safe trip home. Thank you so much for coming. I can't believe the weather. This has been great.
Ladies and gentlemen, the last thing we'll do today before we go home is talk to Les Brown here, the owner of the best overall Impala trophy. This giant trophy was designed by Jose Hernandez to just barely fit between the back doors of an Impala Super Sport. And Les is the lucky winner. Les, tell us, how do you get to be the BOI winner?
The BOI trophy was designed for the best overall Impala between the drag racing, road course, autocross, sound system, and car show. And I was lucky enough to do well in a few of the events to accumulate enough points to win the big trophy there that won't fit in my car.
Well, I tell you, that's an impressive, and it's something impressive. It is something because it means a good overall, all-around car. And Les, I'm happy for you. And folks, that's all for this year. We'll see you back next year at maybe i2k2.wmv.